morning, grab a cup and tune on in. Robert and Dave got that southern charm. Let the laughter begin. From the morning funny to MAGA minute, ain't no better way to start your day the southern way, with a little joke and pray. We're just southern folks talking southern things. Front porch swinging where the church bells rang. From mama said to hum day news, we keep it real with down home views. Sunday morning in the Word, get that gospel flow. Prayer time calls, so let's let our troubles go. Come Monday night, mama said, is bringing the truth. And when it's night talk with Dave, man, you know it's getting loose. We're just southern folks talking southern things. Stories and sports where the good times hang. From SFP News to I Remember That, we tell it like it is, and that's a fact. Got our veteran of the week, gotta show our pride. Pets of the week, bringing love worldwide. Talking paranormal, digging true crime. Southern fried stories all the dang time. So pull up a chair, y'all, and stay a while. Ain't nothing like that southern style. From the morning show to the soundstage band, it's SFP Live, won't you give them a hand? So pull up a chair, y'all, and stay a while. Ain't nothing like that southern style. From the morning show to the soundstage band, it's SFP Live, won't you give them a hand?
Well, good evening, everybody out there, Southern Fried Podcast land. And right here in our Cornbread Nation, got a special guest tonight, running for U.S. Senate out of Texas, Mr. Alexander Duncan. We've been looking forward to this for a minute, sir.
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and just to give you a little, this is our Friday night front porch show. So here in the South, you know, we like sitting on the front porch and chewing the fat and having some coffee and meeting with friends. And so that's just the way we look at this. So we appreciate everybody joining in. I'm sure you've got some supporters that are joining in. Thank everybody for your support of Mr. Duncan, and we're excited to have you. And it's your time. And folks, please support, follow, and he has a website and store and all those things that you can get some merchandise and stuff from. So, Rob, you got anything before we get started? We've, like I said, we're like kids in a candy store tonight. We like politics. We like America. We love America. We love Texas, and so we're excited. I mean, this is fun, and we love Jesus. I mean,
absolutely.
You know what? Game on. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Alexander, how about just tell us a little bit about yourself? I've done some research, and I know a little bit about you, but folks out there don't. Let's hear about your story from where you were to where you're at.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Southern California, and that's a hot topic with moving out of state, because a lot of people think you bring California with them, but that was the complete opposite from me. I knew I needed to get out of there because I was not going to raise my two young children in just I'll just leave it as it's a very dark state, and you feel the heaviness when you go over there because they're just void of God. And it's really sad to see what that state has turned into. So for me and my family, the best decision was to move to Texas, because right away we're like, what state still, values God? Where is freedom still reign? And what state still supports like the nuclear family? And
Yeah.
Texas was like the number one spot. We got to go. And that's why we ended up there. But, quickly after coming here, I found out that the left is hard at work to destroy the state. And I'm seeing the same things that I saw in California. And I was like, you know what? I can't stand to let this happen. Like, I want to protect this state for my children, for future generations. And, somebody once told me, like, hey, don't complain unless you're willing to try to make the change yourself. So I took that to heart. I said, you know what? I know it's an uphill battle, but we really need to get Cornyn out of the Senate because he's basically a Democrat. So
Yeah.
I threw my hat in the ring, and we're going to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to come back to that point when you talked about Cornyn, because a lot of people that may not pay attention all the way, may only pay attention to their state. They may not realize the controversy that's happened with that seat and involving MAGA and our president, Donald J. Trump. But just real quick, how many years have you, or how long have you been in Texas? When did you make the move?
So just over a year ago.
Just over a year ago. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And a little bit about your background. We know that you served as a police officer, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 13 years.
13 years.
Awesome. We love that. We love our first responders. We love our military. We love those that are wear the badge and defend those values that we have. This is a big seat. This is highly recognized. Every seat's big. And one thing you also said was, you got to get involved. You got to do something. Me and Rob talk about this here. In fact, we talked about that this week.
Yes.
As we got on our soapbox about challenging people to do what they can as Americans to make those changes and difference in their school boards, local elections, all the way up. But a lot of people that may not pay attention to Texas and they may have heard the name John Cornyn, but if you could just share a little bit about this seat and kind of where it's been from your perspective and what you saw in it that you could make a difference as, or what challenged you to go to this. And this is a midterm election, 2026, folks.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things is I'm very anti the career politician. I think I'm a huge proponent of term limits. And when you see that Cornyn's been in since 2002, and basically has done nothing other than support the left. And the two biggest things for me was when he was voting to send billions to Ukraine, which is we have so many people struggling here in America, and those billions of dollars could have been used to help Americans first. So that was a huge one. But even bigger was when he, co-sponsored the Safer Communities Act and infringed on our Second Amendment rights. And that was just a non-negotiable for me. I'm like, how can you have a Republican senator from Texas that's voting for gun legislation that infringes on our rights? So those are the two that I couldn't stand to see that here. And most people can't. And that's why they want to get him out. But he's so entrenched in Washington, and he's one of these Bush era Republicans, and he's just full of cash, and he thinks he could just bully people around, and he thinks he's going to come out on top again. But I think this is the time that people are really going to step up and want to get him out of here.
Yeah, I had a question on that, actually, if you don't mind me throwing that out real quick.
Yes,
you've got Bill Paxton's probably is running, is he not, as well?
Yes, sir.
And he's another career politician, basically. I know, but and they're both big names, and they're both going to pull in a lot of financial support.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're going to have to find some way to counteract that. But grassroots may be the way to go. Because more and more of these podcasts are becoming more and more what people turn to. So
I think you're exactly right. I think we saw it we know Trump had a ton of cash, but it was really the podcast that put him over the edge, because people saw a different side of him, and they're like, we want this. We don't want these same career politicians that give the same answers and don't have a personality. And I think America's starting to wake up and realizing we need more people that are not career politicians. We need the working class men and women that know how these policies affect their constituents. And Not to say that some of these politicians don't know, but they're not truly out there experiencing what these policies do.
Right. But you being in the police force for 13 years, you've seen how these policies directly affect people.
Oh yeah, especially in California. I mean, it ruins. It's funny because these policies protect criminals and radical leftists over the actual taxpayer. So you're
Right.
paying all these taxes and they're just going to basically illegals and criminals. And you're like, how is that helping anybody? And they just strip away your freedoms. And it's horrible.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, when you look at, go ahead, Rob.
No, go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just going to say, when I looked, I think there's as many as 10, counting you, that are wanting to run for this seat, including a Democrat. Which this seat's, I'm sure people need to turn out and vote. Will stay Republican, but you're right. I mean, there's a ton of money that's going to be poured into this campaign. It's amazing the money that is in these campaigns. We have presidents, and it's upwards of $1 billion that are being spent on an election. And I may be wrong on this. I think I saw where this seat may have upwards of $100 million that's poured into it. Now, a lot of that money too is probably coming from outside the state. That's what happens here in Georgia. Is people are pouring money into the state, trying to flip that to the person they want. There's a hard thing. So you're right. You got to get out and get your message out. And then, me and Rob are talking about, with these bigger names, the challenge to get your message out, and to, because legacy media, they play into this, who they bring up, who they put on the platform, the stage, and all that. Those are challenges for you. And what are some things that you're doing besides podcasts to maybe, work within that to help your message get out there?
Yeah, I've been very involved in posting on X as much as I can and getting a following on there, because as we've seen, thankfully Elon purchased that, because that changed the game with a lot of politics right now. And I hope to see more people want a real change. Like, we brought up Paxton, and Paxton has been a great attorney general here. He's done great things for the state. But if we want to see a real change, we need to elect somebody that's not entrenched in that world, that's not beholden to these lobbyists and especially the cash, because with cash comes, deals. Everyone wants a piece for what they're given.
That's right. I watched a couple of your videos on one of your social medias, and folks, he doesn't hide one bit behind anything. No. I mean, you put it right out there. MAGA, the president. You touch on so many topics. And I want to say before I forget, and I was telling you off screen, and I was telling your media folks and stuff. Further research in any candidate is always critical. I've done a little bit of this. I've helped research candidates, not particularly with Ballotpedia, although I have went there and researched. Have never been directly attached to Ballotpedia, but I have worked within some organizations that helps put out these voter guides to let people know, what kind of a conservative record, and everybody gets a rating. Your conservative rating has got to be off the charts for, even though you don't have a record because you've not served in that role, your survey answers are, it's like MAGA, just screaming MAGA. Folks, I challenge you to go to, we wouldn't have the time tonight to go through every one of them, but go to Ballotpedia under Alexander Duncan and look at the questions that are asked and the answers. And because it is Texas, and one of them you touched on was, because it says, one of the questions is, what do you perceive to be the United States' greatest challenges as a nation over the next decade? Number one for you in this answer was securing our borders and sovereignty. If you could just touch on that just a minute, because this is in the public realm right now. This is what everybody's talking about, especially the Southwest and Southeastern United States.
Yeah, we've seen President Trump has done an amazing job. Record low numbers right now. But as we know, if we don't keep that, momentum going and really keep our foot on the gas, the next Democrat that gets in there is going to rescind everything. So we really need to get that border fully secured, get the wall done. We have amazing Border Patrol agents, but they still need resources to get their job done. And a big thing, I think, is we need to allow our local and state law enforcement to work side by side with the Border Patrol and with ICE, and make the same arrest, because we were invaded under Biden. We were just straight up invaded, and we need to ensure that we get all these illegals out and really just make sure we're a sovereign nation again. For some reason, the rest of the world just thought we were open to come and do whatever you want, and that's not the case. I mean, we need to protect our values, which make this the greatest nation on earth. And I'm all for legal immigration, because who wouldn't want to come to this great country? But if you come here, your support, your patriotism should all be about America. You should leave that country behind you left and fully embrace the American culture and values we have here.
Yes, absolutely. And before I give it back to Rob, I know he's got a couple of other questions. And some candidates might be uneasy with this. I do not think that you are, from what I've read. And when you come on a podcast with a Jesus hat on, which I love, we love it. We are believers in the Lord Jesus Christ. Seeing that, if you would share a little bit about your faith, I don't think you have a problem with that. And tell us how that drives everything about your life and your service and everything. And this great country, which is still I know everybody's welcome, and you're welcome, free to do whatever you want, to worship or not. But this is a Christian nation. Now, there's no doubt about it. And all of those, the laws, the Constitution, everything is founded on the word. So I want to turn it over to you and just let you share a little bit about that, if you would, sir.
Yeah, I'm not afraid about my faith at all, because I will just straight up say it, God saved me. I was going down a bad path for a long time in my life, a dark path, an immoral path. And it was when I came to Jesus, everything changed for me. And it's such a freeing feeling. It's like the best feeling you could ever get in your life is developing that relationship with Christ. And that's why I'm huge about putting it out there, because I want people to experience and feel what I've felt, because there is nothing greater than it. And I want people to see me, and I hope to be a light in this dark world. And I want more people to come to Christ, because I don't want people to go down that path I've ever gone down. And I hope to cut it off early so they don't have to live that life. But yeah, Jesus is everything, man. I can't reiterate it enough. He saved me, and he saved all of us. And I always like to tell people, no one's too far gone. We're all sinners, but we all can find Christ and be saved in the end. And I just hope more people do.
Amen. I could preach right now. I love it. I love it. Rob, go ahead, brother. I know you had a couple of.
I did have something I want to put out on that as well. We're on multiple streams.
Yes.
We try to get our word out far and wide. And one of the streams we're on, Dave's really been focusing on this one, is Red Note. And that's a China-based. Now, why in the world would we reach out to a China-based web service? Because there are people there that haven't heard about Christ. And that's one of the things that we really push on here. And Dave, we've been dragging on there. We don't get a lot of love. But Dave, how many followers did we top today?
We're over 1,100, and we were told to get out that you can't preach and you can't share Jesus and all of that. But you know what? My mission, number one in life, is to share Christ, and then everything else will take care of itself. And so, I don't think that's the first time Christians have been told to get out of an area. You don't belong here, and any missionary or preacher or whoever has faced that, or a Christian wherever. And we have people around the world that are persecuted for that. And it goes back to what you said, brother, about what we have here in America. I don't know if you're familiar with Trevor London, who's from New Zealand, who tours the country, and he has said this is the last hope in the world for the cause of freedom is the United States of America. And he goes around to warn people what's happening around the world. And I think shows like this and many other podcasts talk about that, how people just don't. And we've got these lunatics in our country, some of them in Congress, who are actually, trying to tear down the nation and trying to promote those socialist, communist values we don't want. And it's not. So we need people like you that are promoting, family, nuclear family, and their faith and freedom. And so it's just such a blessing. So we try to get out there and do what we can. So it's okay.
Yeah,
I know, Rob.
Great. I mean,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you could just reach one person, like in China, like you're saying, if one person hears a message about Christ and could be saved, who knows who they're gonna end up influencing next? So that's why it's so important to just show people God's love and His grace and what's possible with them. Because, like I said, I'm the perfect example. I believed in God my whole life, never questioned, like, yeah, of course there's a God, but I never had that relationship with them. And it wasn't until I hit my rock bottom personally that I truly sensed like, yeah, I need this relationship, and everything changed for me. And it's the greatest thing that anyone could ever do.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. When we started off, we decided, if we can affect one person positively, it's all worth it.
That's right.
So, all right, I do have a question though. We were talking about media a while ago, and I've done a little bit of research. And one of the sources that I pulled up today or yesterday is the Dallas Morning News. You ever look on that one? There's a story in there by Gromer Jeffers Jr., and this is his story. But he did mention several other potential candidates for the U.S. Senate seat, including U.S. Representative Wesley Hunt, U.S. Representative Beth Van Doom. Am I saying her name right? It's spelled kind of funny. And U.S. Representative Ronnie Jackson. They didn't even mention you. That's rude. And you're already in there. And these are people just thinking about it. There is such thing as equal time.
Yeah.
I think I would reach out to them and say, hey, don't forget me.
Yeah, I need to give a shout out to my media, director, Derek. He's been excellent with that. So I definitely will have him reach out and try to get something done.
Yeah, because they shouldn't leave you out. I mean, just, there you got too much stuff going for you here.
Yeah, and I'm glad you met. Let me just say real quick, I'm glad you mentioned Derek, and he's been great to help set this up. And he's just a joy to deal with, and we appreciate him and the work that he's doing for you, also to help us podcasters make connections to have these interviews. Go ahead, Rob.
Tell us a little bit about your Little Diggers program. I know this is your company, but go ahead. You got to air this out. Plug this. This is great.
Yeah, so I'm a huge proponent of small businesses, and a big thing I want to see is we need to cut regulations, cut the permit processes, because we should be supporting people to open small business. I mean, that's how America started. It was all these small mom and pop businesses. And, I was like, when I moved to Texas, I was like, I need to put my money where my mouth is. And we're in the process of opening a place here in Texas called Little Diggers. And it's basically a big indoor sandbox. So kids could go in, they get to play with toys in a nice air-conditioned environment, and there's no screens. There's nothing to distract them. It's just playtime. So I think it'll be great here to get, kids away from the screen, playing in the sand, a good place for parents to take their kids to get out of the heat in the summer. So we're really excited about opening that soon.
And by no screens, he means there's no TVs, no computers, no phones,
nothing
like that. Just youngins playing.
That's right.
I bet you'd even let grown-ups go in there and play too if they wanted to.
They do. They get inside the box. I went and checked out the Ohio locations, and the dads and moms are right inside playing with them. So it's great. It's a great little family time.
Yeah. Awesome. I do.
We in the South, we come from such a farming background. We were talking about this leading up to this interview, is we have to feel the dirt between our fingers. I mean, Rob is sitting beside farmland right now. I mean, he's surrounded by farms in South Georgia, and that's our family history is all about farming and getting we grew up with it, but like you said, kids today are getting away from those things. They're so, it's just a difference, and not all of them, but many of them, and more we can get them away from those things and give them some positive things like that. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's sad to see that. I mean, I feel like I was the last generation that grew up playing outside, without social media and all this stuff. And it's sad to see that the kids aren't outside playing like they used to.
Yeah. They had threatened us to get us to come in, because we wanted to stay outside. We didn't want to come in.
Oh, no.
Big difference. A couple of other things here. I want to switch gears in just a minute, but another one of it was number 2, actually, you mentioned was energy. And obviously the president has, he's thrown down the gauntlet for the world and for America, drill, baby, drill. And he's making moves as fast as he can to try to get minerals, get us as self-sufficient as we can. And you kind of spoke on that in your survey, but if you could just maybe touch on that a little bit. I mean, Texas, when I think of Texas, we can't help but think of energy. So if you could touch on that real quick.
Yeah. So, I mean, for far too long, we relied on all these other nations to get our oil from. And it's like, it's a huge national security issue. We need to be energy independent. We have plenty of oil here and natural gas in the US. And it's just, we need to open it up, allow these companies to start drilling, bring down the prices, and it creates jobs. Just in Texas alone, our oil industry, it's over 500,000 jobs it creates. And if we could expand that, it benefits everybody. It gives families jobs. It gives us cheaper gas, cheaper oil. It's a no-brainer. But for some reason, the left thinks, oil and gas is just the worst thing possible. But little do they know that their green energy plans are worse for the environment than oil and gas are.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the biggest scam ever. Nobody talks about it, but it is doing all this harm to the environment. And it's just amazing that how misguided some of this has been relayed to the American people, And thank goodness for the president. He got us getting us out of some of those agreements that previous administrations were getting us into, which countries like China and Russia were never going to follow anyway. And we were boxing ourselves in and harming ourselves and our economy and letting them, they loved it, hurt your economy, we'll get better. I don't understand the mindset. Yeah. I want to shift gears real quick. And one of the things you had, and I love this, goes back to faith, and say, if you could talk about this just a little bit, because it's one of my favorites too. When they ask you what was your favorite book and why, and you mentioned The Cost of Discipleship by Dietrich Bonhoeffer, that guy, his story is amazing, and I don't want to turn it into his story tonight. It's about you, but how did something like that really touch you? I mean, because this you said it's your favorite. His story is amazing, and the tie-in to what we could be in America if we don't watch out, I think there's a great parallel there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, what stood out me most was a counselor gave that to me. He was a Christian counselor, former pastor, and he said, "Hey, I think this book will do great things for you." And I could not put it down. I mean, when he talks about cheap grace and costly grace, that's what it was, an eye opener. It's kind of like I was saying, like, I believed in God, but yeah, I'm saved. I don't need to do anything else. But it's like, no, you're saved. God wants that relationship with you, and it's going to cost something because you need to live for the Lord and not live for this world. So that was my big thing. It's like, we're not supposed to live for ourselves. We're supposed to live for Christ in helping others. So that was the biggest thing. Just the cost of, surrendering yourself to Christ and dying to yourself and living for the Lord, living for others. And it's a book I recommend to everybody because it's an eye opener and it really hits deep.
Amen.
Yes. If you're not familiar with Dietrich Bonhoeffer, please get familiar with him and his bravery in the face of extreme danger for his country and trying to rescue it, the soul. And we're fighting for the soul of America right now. There's no doubt about that. It truly is the forces of good versus the forces of evil. You mentioned what was going on in California and how you just had to make that move and take care of your family. Another thing, and I'll get to in just a minute, I want to talk about education, but Rob, go ahead. I'm sure you've got something else you wanted to ask.
Yeah, I've got a couple more. The first one is one of the things that I've researched on is you were talking about rural health care and expanding the telehealth and stuff like that. I'm in a rural area here in South Georgia, and I understand the necessity here. I had a heart attack 2 years ago, and then I went to the local ER. Well, I had to travel another hour to get to someplace that had a heart care center. And that closest one, it was just under an hour, is in Dothan, Alabama. And I live here in southwest Georgia. So, it's a long difference. But will you go over, can you talk about some of your plans for that? Because I got a feeling this could be models that can be used in other states as well.
Yeah, because there's even federal regulation right now that kind of makes it hard for these doctors to do telehealth. Say you're in the doctor in New York and you want to see a patient here in Texas. It's a very kind of gray area with being able to do that. But it's like in today's society, why can't I hop on a computer and talk to a doctor I need to see anywhere in this country? But
Right.
especially in these rural areas, we need to incentivize doctors to go work out there. And I kind of talked about that in another interview. But I'm not a fan of handouts, but if we can incentivize these doctors through certain programs like either tuition forgiveness or different stipends to get them to go out and work, because I
Yeah,
mean, these people need the same access as everybody else.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I get behind that 110%. Uh, but one of the other things, this isn't my question, but I did want to comment on something. Everybody talks about a lot, we need change. We need change. We can't keep doing the same old thing. We keep electing these politicians, they're in there forever, and it's always the same. It's always the same, it's got a new name on it, it's nothing different. Well, folks, here, something different. You know, this is not a career politician. He's not been in office forever. Uh, it's born again, a man of God, trying to do right, and his views are lining up with everything that I've seen. I haven't seen anything that I disagree with yet. And I looked because, I've got two, but I haven't seen
Yeah, of
anything I
course.
disagree with yet. And so you look for a change. Here's a change, you know. So far you've
Yeah.
got, I can't vote for you. Of course, I'm in a different state, but I would if I could, you know.
Yeah, and
Uh,
like you nailed it. If people want a real change, we just got to start looking outside of these politicians. And sad to say is most are lawyers, and they just climb the ladder and they enter that political world. But like I said earlier, we need the working class people to step up and start running for office because they really know how to be in touch with their constituents and what they need and how these policies affect them.
yeah,
So I'm just hoping we see kind of a new movement and that leads to that. And like if we even go back to our founders, they never intended for people to sit in office for their entire life. It was
no,
a basically a volunteer service.
Sure.
But somehow we lost our way with that, and now all our congressmen and senators are millionaires because of insider trading and all their backroom deals. And it's sad. It's destroyed this country.
it really
It
has.
really has. The president has, and we know that there is a fight for the minds and the souls of our children. We see it all over the country. The president has, made some moves to bring those decisions back to the states, as he has with many things, because we know the bloated government. It's gotten too big. It's involved with things it's not even supposed to be involved with. It's not even constitutional. But one of those is the Department of Education, and doing away with that on a federal level and bring it back to the state. And then we have cases before the Supreme Court right now where parents are fighting for their kids, people from different
Mhm.
faiths standing together in a suit against, school districts in another state. If you could just share your thoughts about the education in America and that battleground that is so very important to our country.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, education is a state issue, which I'm so glad President Trump's adhering to the 10th Amendment and kicked it back to the states because the Department of Education just turned into an indoctrination program of our youth. And I'll, make it applicable to Texas. What works in Austin isn't going to work out in an area like Midland or Odessa. Two different values. People don't want the same thing from Austin as they do in Midland and Odessa. So we got to give parents the choice to what they want for their children. I don't know how we got away from parents being parents. Like they need to pick what's best for their own children. So I think we just need to expand on, school choice is a huge thing, especially here in Texas. And you got to go about it in a way that it's not going to affect anyone across the state. We need to support, homeschooling, these private schools, charter schools. They all need to be kind of on the same playing field, but pick what works best for you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you something. The government does such a good job running so many things. I really want them educating my children and teaching them values. I mean, come on. I'm not, no offense, but I'm just saying, I don't trust them to educate my children or teach them values. And I think,
No, we don't never trust the government for anything.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Everything they get their hands on.
What was it Ronald Reagan said? You know, one of the scariest things you can ever hear is, hey, I'm a politician and I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
The government's at your door. From your background in law enforcement and this, I don't know. Of course, we've got the great, Texas Rangers and the different ones. And Texas may be a little different. I'm not as familiar. But around the country, we have seen previous administration use law enforcement to do things against good Americans. I mean, just law-abiding Americans, coming through the door in the middle of the night with legacy media in tow, and really destroying the rights of the individual. And again, I think this is again a further trying to destroy the Constitution. If you could talk about that from because your state is dealing a lot with this, with the illegals, the crime that has escalated against those. I don't remember which part of Texas, but there's that huge city that they built basically to house these illegals. If you could just speak on that, the law enforcement end and the protection of the border. I know we touched on it briefly, but bringing that down to the communities and stuff, and how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anti the federal government coming in and doing anything. So that's why I was saying we need our local and state, police to be able to go out and arrest these illegals. But like you were saying, it's called Colony Ridge, and there is a whole scandal behind that right now. If you dig deeper on that, you're going to see a lot of big names that were involved in that are trying to distance themselves now. But yeah, it's sad because they will weaponize law enforcement against the American people. And we saw it during COVID when they wanted to enforce masks, in various states, and wanted police officers to go out and write tickets and arrest people for exercising their freedoms. And it's sad because I think not here in Texas, but a lot of states, they use the police to go after just law-abiding Americans. And we need to change that. But I think the culture right now is they're looking for people that will do whatever they tell them to do. And that's my biggest problem with law enforcement. It's like, no, we need to, we take an oath to support and defend the Constitution too. And we need to adhere to that.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Rob?
I know you're pro guns, and I am glad to hear that because, we're all about Second Amendment here. We do have a lot of issues with school shootings and stuff like that. What would be your way, or what way would you like to see Texas going about preventing this from happening in Texas?
Yeah, so I don't ever think it starts with the guns. We need to start looking at mental health. All these school shooters, all these mass shooters, they're all mentally ill. It's not a gun problem. It's this mental illness that goes untreated. And we see the left, they love to affirm mental illness rather than treat it. So we need to find ways to actually get these people help beforehand, because I'm anti any legislation that's going to restrict or limit our Second Amendment. And people always want to go, oh, you want your guns, you want to, just collect guns. It's like, it's not about that. The founders made it clear why we have the Second Amendment, and it's to fight back against the tyrannical government when it comes. So I'll never compromise on that. But we want to protect our children. And I think that starts with really from an early age, getting these people the help they need.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of those values come from home as well.
Yes. And
That's right.
And you spoke about the nuclear family and how important that is. Texas has a long history with this, and of course Ted Cruz's seat. This goes way back. If you go quite a few years back, these were actually they were Democrats that were actually the senators. Of course, I know that was a different time and a different platform, but it's been Republican for a long time. Have you met Senator Cruz or had any connection or contact with him or conversations or anything? Just curious, since he is the other people recognize.
Yeah, I have not. I would love to sit down and talk with him though and pick his brain, because a lot of what he's doing I align with, but there's always room for improvement with
sure
any politician. We're never going to agree on everything completely.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah, I think there's some things there. I'd agree. That's a fair assessment. You see some things that you'd like to see improved, but this is Texas is. I mean, we think of these big states and California, of course, and then Texas, and how important that is when we are deciding how the country goes. When you look at Congress, that those advantages that the Republicans have are razor thin. I mean, razor thin. And this is huge. And all across the nation, these midterms are going to be critically important to maintaining that, to help advance beyond the first 2 years, President Trump's agenda. If you could just speak on that just a minute, and I know that's what you're trying to do, but what do you see about that? If you were elected and you're going to Congress as a freshman senator, if you could just talk about that for a minute and the importance of that. Then I have a follow-up question just about the moment that you knew that you wanted to run. But if you could speak on that just for a second, I may not have framed that exactly, but the importance of this going up there, maintaining that advantage that the Republicans have in Congress.
Yeah, I think what you said is key, the midterms. We need people to get out and actually vote, because too many people sit at home, they don't go cast a vote. But it's extremely important right now because we need to flip these Democrat seats and get a stronger majority. And we're in a pivotal place right now where we need to codify President Trump's executive orders and put them into law. Because like I was saying, if, in 2 years or 4 years from now, we don't have the majority, we get a Democrat president, all these great executive orders are just going to go out the window. So if I get in there, I'm going to push hard to get all of this in legislation. So it's done. You can't rescind it. It's in the law, and we could keep pushing forward. But yeah, I mean, the left is at work here in Texas. They really want to take Texas. And I truly believe it's because they know if they could get Texas to fall, America just goes with it. And we're done at that point. I mean, we have these radicals like Jasmine Crockett here who are just basically a disgrace to this entire nation with what she comes out and saying. But we need to take her seat. Al Green too.
Al Green, yeah.
Yeah. These people need to go. And we need to put solid Republican America First conservatives in those seats.
Yes. We don't need anybody else up there with a stick shaking it at the president while he's trying to address Congress. Good grief, that is an embarrassment.
We had
I just wanted
to go ahead.
I just wanted to say too, like this whole America First thing, I don't understand how the left is so anti it, because America First, it benefits all Americans. It should be a uniting factor. It's like, why do we not want to take care of our people first? It's mind-blowing to me.
Oh no, absolutely. We have to send billions we basically have to borrow money to send to other countries. Why don't they just borrow their own money? Why are we? Oh, I know they may not have as much money as we do, but we got enough issues in our own country. We shouldn't be sending money anywhere until every homeless vet is off the streets.
Exactly. That's what makes me sick, is when we have tons of homeless veterans out there that need our assistance, but instead we're just funneling all our taxpayer dollars away to countries that hate us. I mean, we're funding the Taliban.
Amen.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know, and people that have done, stepped up in life and did some things at different levels. Was there a defining moment when you just knew in your gut something that happened, or was it over time that you said, I've got to do this? And what was your family's reaction when you shared that, when you shared your vision that I've got to do this? If you could talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, so I've always been extremely conservative and opinionated back when I was in California, and I was always interested in running for office, but I was like, there's just no point, because I'm just going to get railroaded by these Democrats, because I don't think we'll ever see California turn red. And when we got over here to Texas, and it was really my faith component, because I want to see more God-fearing men and women in office. And I decided to say, this is the time. I'm in a state that is very conservative, loves these values. And I always tell people, like, I did not come to Texas to change anything. I came because I love Texas. I love what it represents, and I just want to protect it. And seeing the left at work, I go, this is exactly what happened in California. I cannot let this happen here. I cannot have my children live under a state like that. So that's what really drove me. It's I want to protect and defend the state for future generations, especially our children. And
Yeah.
when I told my family, my wife was like, there's a lot that's going to come out to you with this. And I said, yeah, I know, but I really feel God has his hand in this and is pushing me to do it. And, at the end of the day, if all I got out there was to preach Christ during this time, that's a win in itself.
Amen. Amen. On that note, you're talking about leaving California. I have met so many people that they've moved into many states, leaving California. I'll just reference real quick. I met a couple very young out of the Sacramento area. They had traveled down through the South and up the East Coast looking for basically that Americana, that small town feel where everybody knows everybody, those values, faith, good job, place where you love to raise your kids. They're looking for that, and they're coming out of. They said the crime was another factor. It was the policies, but it was also the crime. They said we don't want to start a family. We loved Sacramento; it was our home, but we could not stay there. We're getting out, and we're coming to places. So they asked for recommendations, and a lot of the stuff we talk about tonight is what I told them, to find that kind of place where they would feel good about raising their family, a good school, places where churches are, good, good neighbors. I think that's what we all want.
Yes.
You're right. It's amazing that Democrats are so anti to those things. It's amazing to me.
Well, I'll say that about Texas too. When we moved here, I've never met nicer people. When they talk about taking care of your neighbor, love your thy neighbor, they truly practice that here. And I've met so many great people at church, my neighbors. It's just people actually take care of each other and actually want the best for each other. And they're just good, down home, nice people. And it was so refreshing to find that.
Wow. You mean you actually got to learn your neighbor's name? All right. Well, let me hit you with one more question. I have now you're welcome to take as long as you want to on this question.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of hitting out of here. And this is one, it's kind of a trippy one. If I were in Texas and I was going to be voting, give me your top 3 reasons why I should vote for you instead of Paxton and Cornyn.
My biggest thing is I'm not a politician. I'm not beholden to any special interest. I'm not taking any money from these lobbyists. And I just want to represent the people. I may feel a certain way, but if the majority of my constituents feel differently, I'm going to vote according to what they want, because that's the job of an elected official. You don't vote for your own self-interest. You vote for what your people want. And I think that's really what we need to see change. And putting America first, that's just my key, is we need to take care of our people first. I cannot stand seeing other countries put ahead of our people. And I really want to just push for policies that support, American families, American jobs, American infrastructure. So that's my biggest thing, is if we want to see a real change, it's going to start by electing someone that hasn't been in office, that knows the people, that has empathy and wants to see the best for everybody. And that's what I'm bringing. I'm bringing a fresh perspective. I fought back against these radical policies in California. And I think who better to combat it than someone that's lived it? You could sit here all you want and say, this is horrible, but unless you've lived it, you don't know what's truly going on and how to fight back against it. So that's what I bring.
Amen.
Absolutely. Amen.
In your survey answers, another thing that jumped out to me, there was a question: is there a particular senator, pastor, president whom you would want to model yourself after? You gave 2, and I'm sure you remember it, but just to refresh and to set it up, you said Ron Paul and Barry Goldwater. If you could expand on that, it really caught me off guard. I saw the Ron Paul, but that you went back and got Barry Goldwater. So if you could talk about that for a second, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the conscience of the conservative. I mean, he was a true conservative, America first. And I think that's what we need. And same with the libertarian mindset of Ron Paul, is I'm just about freedom.
Yes.
Let people just live their lives, but don't put any of it on me. If you want to go out and, especially the craziness we're seeing right now, if you want to be called a dog, that's great. Do it in your home, but You're not going to tell me I have to bend over backwards to do whatever you want. But it's just freedom. That's what America was built upon, is being free, and we need to get back to that.
Absolutely. In fact, your tagline, faith, family, freedom, I mean, that really summates everything that you're about, and everything that we've talked about tonight is those three. And it really jumped out at us. And so of all the things you have, I mean, it really, everything, that's the umbrella that everything else comes underneath, is those values. And freedom, obviously, we must safeguard freedom. It's so precious. And there's been a great cost that has been paid in the death of so many of our sons and daughters fighting to defend that freedom. We owe them something, and it's refreshing to see someone like you come along.
And I was going to say, it's sad to see that people don't truly appreciate the freedom like they should, because you see it with these illegals that come over. I mean, let's say legals that come over the correct way. They are more devout, patriotic Americans than some of our American citizens right now, because they value that freedom so heavily. And we just need people to get back to realizing, like, you can never give that up. If you give away freedom, it's never coming back.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes.
You can't get it back.
Before we get out tonight, we did tell you we wanted to talk a little bit about, of course, you Southern California. You're now in Texas, and we don't know if you're a sports fan at all, but you're now in SEC country because of Texas Longhorns. So did you have a team that you liked in Cali? Do you still root for them? Or have you adopted any Texas teams as your college football favorite?
You know, growing up, I was always a sports fan, but once it turned to woke, I kind of like cut it all off because I just couldn't stand it anymore. But growing up, I was always a UCLA fan because I couldn't stand USC. I thought they were just garbage, and even just how they run that school. But since coming here to Texas, definitely a UT Austin fan, the Longhorns. And it's funny because my son is he's really bought into the Texas culture. So everything he wants, Longhorn branded on everything. So it's pretty funny.
Oh, this is great. Georgia has this big rivalry now, and I've ran into some Texas fans who were traveling as tourists, and they said, "We're going to beat you this year." So they're already marking that game down on the calendar. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah.
Okay. I wear my Georgia hat everywhere. I don't care if I'm going to Alabama, Texas. I'm going to have it on my head, and it gets some interesting comments. And I've got some comments. Oh yeah, from Texas fans this year. And, oh, we're going to get you this year. Yeah, you said that twice last year. And but it's all in fun. We enjoy all of them. And, sir, I think you're a great patriot, and I'm glad you came on here with us. I mean, this has been absolutely wonderful. And I would like to say, what do you think? I got one last quick question. What do you think about your governor's Greg Abbott over in Texas? They're and his borders trying to block the border and stuff. That was a big hit under Biden, but you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, Governor Abbott, man, he's got his issues. He's done some good things, of course, but he's very reactionary. He's never proactive about solving the problems Texas want. And I think we need to kind of see a change in there too, because again, he's a Bush era Republican, and it's just not what we need right now. We need someone that will actually stand up and say, no, this is what's right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wait until it becomes a problem to fix it. We need to cut it off at the start. So he could have done a lot better with that.
Yeah. But I did like the fact that he did stand up to him and was.
Yeah.
When he took his stand, by golly. So.
Yeah. At least he tried to do something, and a lot more than what other states could say.
Well, okay. Here's a question here from the gallery here. It's from Jake Hudson. Now, we know Jake. Jake's a good friend of the podcast. And Jake he has autism. And I would like to put this up there. It says, my question is, what are you going to do about special education in Texas? And I think that's one of the things we talked about earlier. But because he is in that situation, I'm going to give you a chance to answer that if you're willing to. Or if you'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to really train up a lot of these teachers to deal with, that special education environment, and really give them the resources they need and put them on the same level playing field. I think too often we don't get qualified teachers in those positions, but we really need to incentivize people going into that type of work, because it's a very, it's a very prestige, like, it's a great thing to go into that line of work and work with those people. And they need to feel like they're receiving the same education as everybody else. And we need to train them up and get them out in the real world just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I want to give you before we run out of time, we appreciate you giving us the hour, and we're coming up on that. If there's anything we didn't cover that you'd like to say, and also looking in the camera and tell people why they should vote for you, and get that out there now. The midterms will be here before you know it. And
Absolutely.
why should they vote for Alexander Duncan and give, trust you with that vote?
Yeah, at first I just want to say thank you, because this is great. I had a great time talking with you both. But I'll just say again, if you want a real change, it's going to start with someone like me that's not a career politician, someone that's worked on the front lines in the streets, know how these policies affect people. And I'm a diehard America first. I just want the best for everybody in this country. And that starts by putting America first, starts with securing our borders, supporting President Trump. And we really just need to defend our freedom. Like I always say, faith, family, freedom built this country, and we need to get back to that. Because we've seen for far too long the families just being destroyed by the left any chance they get. But we really need to solidify, protect the nuclear family, bring back faith. And I can't tell you how much faith will change you if you will just, even if you're not a religious person or a Christian, whatever you may be, if you just open a Bible, read a couple verses, and just pray, just see what happens. Because it's a game changer. I cannot emphasize it enough. God saved me. I would not be where I am today if it was not for God. And I just want more people to experience that. So if you want someone that's just authentic, transparent, and that's what I vow to the people too. I'm going to be accessible. I cannot stand that these politicians get into office and they think they're a celebrity and they're not willing to talk to their people anymore. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be accessible, and I'm going to be as transparent as possible, so people know exactly where I stand all the time.
Amen.
Amen. Well, we'll certainly be praying for you. We pray for all those that are in government or trying to run, and all leaders. I mean, we need prayer soaked over this nation. I mean, it is our hope, and we have to have God's hand upon us. And we so appreciate you putting your faith out. I remember a few years ago, people said it was almost like an attack that people of faith shouldn't run. Are you kidding me? That's what founded on. I don't understand that mentality, but more and more people have stepped out and ran that are of faith, and they share their faith. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not against the rules. It's not a problem. That is the freedom we have to share your faith. And so we appreciate you doing that. Thanks so much for being on. We have other podcasters that are in here. Folks, reach out to him and give him a chance to get on some other platforms. And there's some great folks in here. Duncan, there's Mr. Duncan. There's a lot of folks that you can have some other interviews that are coming. So we hope so. And we appreciate you so much for being here, and God bless you, and God bless your family.
Yes.
For stepping up and to make a change.
I appreciate y'all too. God bless. Thank you so much.
Anytime you want to come back, just let us know. We'll be happy to have you back on.
Okay, great. I had a great time. Thank you.
We're glad you did. We did too.
Absolutely. We'll run a commercial. We'll give you a chance to get out of here. And folks, look him up. And I know you're on X. I know that. Are there any other platforms that you're on that they can look you up on?
I have a Facebook, but I'm primarily on X. I'm on that all day posted. So if you want to see it, it's Alex Duncan TX, and you can go to duncanforsenate.com.
Yes, and a great store. I like the options. There's a lot of options there. I love that. And I did see you posting on X, and Jake just told us that he's already followed you on X. So you're picking up some followers as we speak. So good job. All right. Well, thank you, folks, for watching. And we're going to take a quick commercial. Let Mr. Duncan get out of here, and we'll be right back. Rob, go ahead.
Thank you. We appreciate you being on with us.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, let's find us a commercial and see if we can let you get out of here. And folks, we'll be right back, and we're going to cover one of those. Don't forget, we didn't ask you the most important question. One last thing, because you're in Texas, we're affiliated with Patriot Mobile. Are you a Patriot Mobile subscriber? Because they are a Texas company. We have to ask that.
Yeah.
I am not yet, but I've looked into it. I'm definitely going to be making the switch because who I'm with right now is garbage. So
Hey,
shout out to Patriot Mobile.
Use the promo code cornbread.
That's
You'll
right.
get the first one free.
Perfect.
Easy to remember. Cornbread. All right, folks. Another great company, Mammoth Nation. We're going to run their commercial right now. Thank you, sir. Salute.
Thank you.
We'll be right back, folks. Hey, Southern Fried fans and your Cornbread Nation. Well, yeah, that's right. We're going to advertise for Mammoth Nation. To all proud Americans, we call attention to these thoughts. Are you tired of woke corporations that don't align with your values? I know we are. Look no further than Mammoth Nation, the ultimate destination for patriots like you and me and Rob and everybody else, including old crazy Uncle Jeb, who believe in putting America first. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we're proud to partner with Mammoth Nation because they share our unwavering commitment to faith, family, and yes, freedom. Just like us, Mammoth Nation believes in the power of the American spirit and the importance of preserving our great nation's heritage. When you join Mammoth Nation, you're not just getting access to amazing discounts on products and services. You're becoming a part of a community that stands against the forces trying to tear our country apart. From supporting veterans and first responders to promoting Christian values, Mammoth Nation is the go-to platform for conservatives who want to make their voices heard. So what are you waiting for? Join the Mammoth Nation movement today and start enjoying exclusive deals from businesses that share your America First values. Together, we can make America great again, one purchase at a time. Don't miss out on this opportunity to support a company that truly cares about our nation's future. Sign up for Mammoth Nation now and experience the difference of a community that puts America first. Use that QR code on the screen, folks, and that will take you right to the website where we also will be helped in your support of these values. We are customers of this great American company. Rob is a monthly supporter, and I am a lifetime member of Mammoth Nation. We're so appreciative of companies like this. Please be a supporter, not just for us, but for America. These companies need our support. We're patriots. Stand together with patriots. Take care, and God bless. And we're back and balanced now.
Now we're bound.
That was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that, folks.
Yes, sir. Yes, it was.
Very, very refreshing to see this type of candidate. This is a tough race. As we said, a lot of money being poured in. Let's do all we can to help him along. Pray for him. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm telling you, how many candidates do you see show up with a hat that has Jesus on it? Tells me all I need to know right there. I love that. Amazing. Thanks for everybody being here. We appreciate all of the supporters of the candidate for being in here. And thank you for that. We appreciate your kind words that you've already shared. And we love Texas. We may not love the Longhorns because Georgia fans, but we love Texas. But we have a lot of fun with that. He was great to play along. And just what like I said, I mean, wow. Get these career people out of here. They're just enriching themselves, and get someone up there who's ready to, stand up for those values. And Rob, they're not going to be pushed around. I mean, they're going to make a stand. We need folks like that.
Yes, we do. We need a lot of folks like that. And if people said, have asked me, well, he's from Texas. Why are you going to interview him? Because this is a national seat. This is important for everybody.
Yeah, we're not just Georgia. We may be based in Georgia, but we'll cover an election from anywhere or a story from anywhere. That was always our intention. And so we are absolutely stoked that we get to talk about Texas politics on this program. It won't be the last time either. And other candidates. And I want to get into looking at Florida. You know, there's going to be a governor change in Florida because of the term limit there. Ron DeSantis has to move on because some say he may have a future in running again for either vice president or president. But there's candidates lining up in Florida. That's a critical state as well. And, you know, we're going to definitely look at, of course, our own state, Georgia, the battleground. My gosh, talk about we're fighting all these issues we talked about. We're fighting every one of those in Georgia. And the same money, the same dirty money, in a lot of cases that's pouring into Texas to fight against these candidates like Alexander is pouring into Georgia. And I think it was one of the Michael or somebody talked about Stacey Abrams and all that money that poured into the state trying to get her elected. I mean, it's massive, the money that was poured in to this state from out of state. Truly amazing. Sad. I just can't imagine that kind of money. But I mean, they were talking $100 million potentially being poured into Texas on this seat. That's incredible. Incredible.
Absolutely.
I know money's a part of it, but you know, where's that money coming from? You know, and who's giving it? And he brought up, and that I hope they explode who's behind that small city they've made out there for all the illegals that happen, because that needs to be exposed. Who was involved in that? That thing just showed up almost overnight. It's massive. I mean, I think it's something like built for something. I may be wrong on the number, but I think it's built for something like 40,000 people. Crazy.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
You know,
yeah.
We've got enough issues going on in this country without doing knuckleheaded stuff like that. And I promise you, when we find out who you are, and we will, who's responsible for that, you're going to make Jackleg of the Week on Cornbread Nation from at least 2 people.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, you might actually go all the way to a jack wagon.
Yeah. I hope that we can have him back before the election. There's so many other things we could talk about. We could talk about the drugs. We could talk about the cartels across the border, the human trafficking. There's so many more things. It's just you can't get to that so much in an hour. But maybe one day we can get him back in the future. We do appreciate the other podcasters that came in. I've seen 2 or 3 that reach out to him. Derek, we can give the information if you need it. They made an appeal, and that's how we got this interview, was for podcasters to bring him on and get his message out there. And so there's an opportunity for you, all you podcasters. I'll be glad to share the info and help get his message out. Absolutely.
What do you think about his Little Diggers program? Dude, I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
A big air-conditioned inside sandbox.
That's cool.
That even grown-ups can get in there and play too.
Hey, I'm game. Let me get in there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Get the kids put their phones down. Oh, get out from in front of that idiot box. Play.
You know, one of the churches up in the Panhandle. I've told you about this church, a cowboy church, just filled with cowboys, great people. And while I was there for the missions week, we went out and we shot all kind of weapons. We shot skeet and all that stuff, and played some golf on where you had to worry about rattlers getting in the fairway. Just amazing. And a rodeo. I mean, there's nothing like Texas. It's a little different than any other place in America. It's great. And it's such a big state, when you get to the border and you see that number on the exit sign, and you realize that's how far across that is, how wide Texas is. But as wide as it is, it's as deep. And you're going to travel down to San Antonio or Brownsville or something like that, you better pack a lunch. You're going to be driving for a while. That's a big state.
And we think it's a long way from Chattanooga down here, down to where I'm
Oh, yeah.
at. That's 5 hours. Can be.
Yeah.
It's not, but yeah, that's nothing compared to driving across Texas.
It is. It's one of those
Proud.
places.
We're glad you were in here tonight. We
Yeah.
thoroughly appreciate having you. Come on back.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all follow, and subscribe if you have a chance, sir. We'd appreciate it. We got a bunch of folks still on here, and we're glad to see all of y'all.
Texas proud. I love it. Be proud of your state.
Yeah.
I've spent quite a bit of time in Texas, all over the state, all the way from down on the coast, all the way up the Panhandle. I didn't get down to like San Antonio. I didn't get there, but in the middle of the state to the top of the state, and like I said, Houston and Baytown and Bowie, Texas, and after Jim Bowie, just had a great Dumas, Texas. Those were areas that I got into, a few of them, and also in Oklahoma. And it was a thrill for me to pass over when you talk about the Red River rivalry and all those great westerns and stuff about the Red River, crossing over that back and forth between Oklahoma and Texas. That was cool. That was cool for me. I had just a great time traveling out there, met some great people, and it's exciting. So how cool is that? So awesome. I like Steve's post there. Follow next. I apologize in advance if you see my post.
Well, I posted one up there on the screen that Steve put up there. I got to find it. And yeah, here. I posted this up there, and I saw him read it. Mr. Duncan read that, and I saw him start snickering.
Excellent. I love it.
I did see him start snickering at that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was.
The only bad thing about the whole thing is, I love it for Texas, but I wish he was in Georgia running here. My gosh.
Yeah.
We've got some folks we need to get voted out in Georgia, and we need some candidates like this. We don't need them wishy-washy rhinos that we seem to get stuck with in parts of Georgia. We need this kind of candidate to step up. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Well, you caught me off guard with UCLA. I didn't anticipate that, but being Southern California, but I thought he might be more USC. But that's cool that his son.
I going for the Longhorns.
Yeah, his son's all eat up with the Longhorns. That's cool though. That's awesome and amazing. I love that. Mm. Well, folks, we hope you've had a great Friday. I'm still getting rain up here, Rob. I don't know about you. We've had a little bit of storm up here, not too bad.
We got about an inch yesterday, but it knocked off, and we're back.
What's the update on your porch? Speaking of front porch.
Well, speaking of front porch talking, I'm getting my front porch installed. The ramp and the deck itself and the rails are done. Now they're working on getting the roof up. And then they're going to screen it in and hang a ceiling fan out there and put in an electric plug. How about that?
You'll be broadcasting from the front porch soon.
I might possibly can do that.
Rocking chair in tow.
Darn skippy. Darn skippy. I'll be out there just rocking away. Drinking my coffee on the front porch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we just touched on it briefly, but this whole Ukraine and Russia thing, it's getting ugly. The president has called on him to get a deal done. That it's just a bloody mess. The bloodshed that's going on. Miss Jen said some storms. Sassy Jen, I like that. She likes that rumble. I'm glad she was able to get that. Was able to see more of the chats and stuff. But it's just turned ugly over there. We still got courts around the country that are trying to derail the president's vision and what he's trying to do. So, folks, we got to pray. There's so much going on. This case before the Supreme Court about the school books for kids as young as 3 years old. My gosh, It just never stops, man. These demonic people trying to destroy our families, our kids, mutilation. My God. And then we got people. What about the judge got arrested, for basically gave the illegal an escape route so that the ICE couldn't get them.
Yeah.
She needs to be
His home.
removed.
In his home.
Just horrible. Just horrible. These things that we're seeing around the country. It just makes you sick of what's going on. I think it was Empty Pocket, James with Empty Pockets podcast, and I liked his quote earlier in the chat. I didn't have time to make reference to it earlier, but we're on the front lines, brother. All of us are,
Yeah.
With the ballot box, we got to defend our kids. We got to defend our cities, our churches, our schoolhouses, the whole thing. It's just sad what's going on in a lot of the country.
It is, and it's why we're as a nation we're allowing some of this stuff to go on.
That's right, Jen. And that's a full-time job.
Oh my God! But we really do. As a nation, we're allowing this stuff to go on. Because we keep voting those people in there. And you're absolutely right. It is hard to keep up with things. We found that out last night.
He killed us last night. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
If you didn't watch the Cornbread Nation show, go back and watch at least the last 20 minutes, because that was when we covered the redneck dating game. And oh my goodness, I was hurting after that show. I couldn't hardly breathe. I was so tired. I don't know how I turned around and did another show, but I was like, oh wow. I was just so beat up and tired.
My goodness.
Yeah. Texas is one of those states that really could be self-sufficient, meaning they have basically just about everything they need to just do everything within Texas. It's such a big state. There's so many resources there, the energy factor, all those things. They do need to upgrade their electrical grid. I mean, that needs to happen. But Texas is a state that doesn't need anybody else, honestly. They're kind of their own little country, because they have everything they need. They don't have to look outside and make deals with anybody else, because they basically grow it, have it, mine it, drill for it. It's all there. Fishing industry, tourism, you name it, they've got it.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is. And it's such a diverse state. We talk about Georgia being diverse a lot, and Georgia really is diverse. And so is Texas. Like I said, Texas and Georgia are a lot alike. A lot of the same values, a lot of the same topography, everything. There's a lot of stuff that is similar between Texas and Georgia. The only thing is we don't wear them cool hats over here.
We're going to have to get us some Southern Fried Cornbread Nation cowboy hats. We'll have to get some. That would get noticed, especially here. If we walked around with those on.
Oh my God.
Podcast would definitely get recognized. Hey,
what's that? A lot of names, that's for sure. Like Goofy.
I don't care. Let them come.
Oh. We'll get you a pair of horns to wear, like them Longhorns.
I'd like to take them horns. I'd like to use them horns on a few people. That's right, NC Native. That's right. Absolutely. Blaze the way for us, Texas. Blaze the way.
Oh my goodness. One of the things we talked about last night.
Well, not secede, real quick. Not secede, but I think I changed it now. But Texas at one time was the one state that could still do that. They had an out. It was the way they were brought into the union, and there were people that talked about that. Could they secede? They said, we don't need you. We'll become our own country. They had an out. I think they've changed that in their state constitution now, but I think so. Oh, she got the stickers today. Yeah. Awesome. Appreciate your shopping.
Yes. We talked about last night on Cornbread Nation about the sissies that take two parking places to park their vehicle. I just found the perfect picture for this, and I've got to share it. Dave, I'm doing it.
Oh, Lord.
If he can do it, anyone can do it. Just take up one space, you knuckleheads.
That's right.
Don't be a sissy. Be a Texan.
Oh, man.
You're welcome.
You're right, Barry. They did. And a few years ago, they almost lost the Texas grid, and that would have been a disaster. There's a documentary about that. I know you can find it on YouTube. Everybody should watch that. Yeah, they do bury it, but it needs work. And they almost lost it. They were within seconds of the whole grid shutting down. And if you go watch that documentary, these are officials. These are officials sharing the numbers of how many casualties, how many people they think would have died before they could have got the grid back up. Because you can't just bring it right back up. It would have taken at least 3 weeks to bring the whole grid back up. That's damaging when you lose it like that. And you think of all the people that need electricity for oxygen or different things, whatever they're on, machines that are helping them stay alive, food, prepare, clean water, all those things. You can just go on and on and on. And of course, you get into California, it's even worse. I mean, the more west you go, the worse the electrical grid gets. Steve, why was it canceled? I wondered when you came in, I thought you were going to go up. I hate that, brother. I hate that. We can't, we got to get that forge fired back up. Absolutely. Swinging that hammer. Maxwell Silver Hammer.
Bang, bang. Yeah. Steve Silverhammer went down on his forge.
I thought about our guest and if he was elected to go to Washington, and which is a good thing, just knowing some of those people on the left in DC, they would hate his guts. That's a badge of honor. They would hate his guts. They would see that guy ride in with that cowboy hat on. They would hate him. And when he shared his faith, they would hate him even more.
But you know what? That's a good sign that he needs to be there. That is a really good sign, Dave, that he needs to be where he's there, where he's at.
Absolutely. No, you're good, Steve. No, I know you bounce around. There's a lot of good podcasts that are on right now. That's the problem. We all go live about the same time. A lot of us.
Hey, Michael, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Steve is probably kind of using solar in the forge. He's got a great big light bulb in that Easy Bake. He can feel the heat all the way on the other side of his shop. I don't think it takes much solar to power that light bulb.
We're going to have to find that clip and pull that up sometime.
Why are you telling me to shut up? My goodness.
A hippie.
A hippie. Well,
I love it.
You're the baker.
Oh, Rob, was you in home ec in school? Did you take a home ec class?
Hell no. Taking a sissy home ec.
Wow, you learned to cook. You like to cook.
I do like to cook, but I cook, man.
What's sissy about cooking at school?
I cook man food. It was sissy back then. It's not sissy now. I'm. Uh-oh. Oh, look at there. On a serious note, though, I do have a solar set up for my vendor adventures. This summer, I'll be using it once a week at a local outdoor market I'm going to be a vendor at. Outstanding. Outstanding. And even though he told me to shut up, I want y'all to know this is y'all go and over on the Rumble side there and go find Half Pine Forge in the Celtic Blacksmith. And y'all give him a like and follow over there and check out his store while you're at it. I'll go ahead and put this out there. I like the work that he does. I've been showing it off too. For the guy's been building my porch, he likes it too. So you'll be one of the only vendors with your own power. And see, I'm just not sure that solar is going to power our computers and stuff.
Oh, it would.
Yes,
for a while. There's actually, if you go and watch, I'll have to send you the. You need to watch Angry Conservative 1981's interview he did with the man. I forget what his show's called, but he's the man in the mountain, and he's basically an off the grid kind of guy.
Right.
And he wants to get set up so in case whatever happens, he could still broadcast. And that includes using Starlink. But he told his system what he has and how long he could stay on the air with that system and a backup that he has. It's well worth the watch. I need to post that one up and send people there to go watch it. That was a great show. I enjoyed that because, hey, we never know. We never know if we're going to have power or not. In Biden's America, we'd probably be in the dark right now.
Yes. So, Jenith, she took automotive and construction. Well, I can see a lot of girls from Rome doing that. That's all right. Rome, Georgia. That incident, I remember cooking something in high school. It must have been a home ec class. It may have been biology too, because I know you had to dissect frogs in there. So maybe that's what you were cooking over the Bunsen burners there. Just saying. She tested my solar bank with no power going into it like it would from solar panels. I watched movies on my laptop with it plugged into a solar bank for 3 hours straight. Bank said 61% afterwards. Wow. That might last a show.
The gentleman I was talking about, he talked about all he needed to run into it. And he got 4 hours out of his solar bank, but he had a backup. It was a small block that I think gave him another 2 or 3 hours, maybe even 4. So I think he said he could go as much as 8 hours, which would kind of get you through the night, sort of, kind of, almost.
Yeah.
If you was going to broadcast, that's plenty of time. I mean, most people aren't on for 8 hours straight anyway. But I thought that was pretty cool. He also took knife fighting after school.
That's what he said, but he went to a rough high school. And he said just knifing at the end of it, right? That's what that JK is, just knifing?
Just kidding.
No, it's just knifing. I'm pretty sure. I'm right. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. He just knifing.
He says that all the time. He puts just kidding.
Say.
Don't blow his head up. Don't blow his head up. He already can't get through the front door of that double wide.
It was a short stab at a joke. Judiciously knifing. Yeah. That's what JK means. Judiciously knifing. See, Dave, you were wrong. Thank y'all.
I'm wrong a lot. That's nothing new.
Oh, you're not wrong that often.
I'm wrong a lot. And I'll tell you what I was wrong about today. I thought I was going to get my car back.
Yeah.
It's going to be Monday.
Why couldn't you get it back today?
Oh, they said, well, we thought you was coming at lunch. Everybody's went home and nobody's here over the weekend that can do it. You got to come back Monday. I said, well, I had to work and I couldn't get over here at lunch. It's just the way it was. I said, they told me they were going to bring the car back up from the other location and have it here. So all I have to do is show the paper and get my car. And they said, oh, we didn't do that. See you, Michael.
Good night, Michael. Have a good one, Bubba. Yeah, I may have. Not very nice. It depends on how kind of wrong you're talking about. Like sending shirts wrong or just being incorrect wrong. You know.
Hey, Lewis. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Lewis.
Welcome to the front porch.
Absolutely. You know, that was just wrong, dude. That's just wrong. All of the above. Very nice. It's pouring there. What's it pouring? Rain?
It's raining. It's pouring.
Or is it some sugar on you? You know, pour some sugar on Lou. Okay, just checking. He's hot, sticky, sweet. Oh, I better stop right there. NC, come on now. Pour some Def Leppard on me. Yeah, I'm glad Chuck only lost 9. He's not deaf. If he was deaf, I'd have named him Def Leppard.
The original spelling of that was DEOF. They changed it over to look more like Led Zeppelin, is how that kind of germinated. But they were the original record EP they pressed had the leopard with like a phonograph thing at its ear, but they played off of that very early on.
No, dude. Let's see. But it's been a killer Uber, so people want their food.
Yeah, don't mess with people's food. They want that food delivered. They want it delivered fast.
That's right.
Have you ever used, Rob, you probably don't even have DoorDash in your area or Uber, do you? That far out?
No.
I figured.
No.
It wasn't paid for them to do it.
No.
No pizza delivery.
No. Well, technically I can call somebody and get them to bring me a pizza. Does that count as delivery?
Well, if it's being delivered, I mean.
Yeah, then yeah.
It's probably cheaper. Well, it depends on who you call.
I doubt that because I'm about to pay for the pizza. So, and my uncle, he wouldn't charge me gas money for delivery. I'm pretty sure I get pizza delivered though.
Have you been over to Moby Dick since they've opened back up?
I have not. They haven't picked up any evening hours yet. Right now, they're just open during the day. Okay. Lewis, you have a great one, buddy.
Appreciate you, Lewis. Blessings, brother.
I might could have went over there Sunday, but yeah. Hey, I need to log out and come back in real quick.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Logging out, logging in. So remember, folks, we are sponsored by Patriot Mobile. Use a promo code Cornbread. Some of the weekend shows will be Southern Fried MAGA. We'll have Sunday Morning in the Word. May have a Southern Talk. The news desk on Sunday night. be some of the programming that you'll be seeing coming over the weekend. Talladega, Sunday. We've got a big interest in that race as fans. And if Dean's going to have to wear a pink Kyle Busch shirt.
Well, a pink shirt designed by me. And y'all know how bad that can be. All right, Steve, check this out, dude. You're going to love this. All right. First of all, I said that Bush was going to win the race. And he was like, no. It's never going to happen. I said, well, if he does win, then I get to send you a shirt.
Yeah.
Do I get to design you a shirt to wear? And he's like, yeah. So it finishes in the top 5. Yeah. What if he finishes the race? Yeah. He agreed to that. And his mother was there and said he would wear it on the show. So, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He was medicated. I mean, set up by your own mom. I love it.
It's great. Dude. That was awesome. Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. I thought that was a real pretty shirt. But he kept going along with it. And Dave's like, it doesn't matter.
Kyle,
the one that's still racing. I think Kurt tried to come back, but he was like really over the hill. But them Bush boys, they're outstanding guys anyway. They were always my favorite racers. Okay. And to be all fairness, I've never watched a full NASCAR race in my life, and I can really give a rat's behind on who wins these or stuff. But I'm just going to say this. If I was a NASCAR fan, I would always pull for the Bush boys, because they're just some of the nicest people you could ever hope to meet. And they're firm believers in Rubbins racing. Okay? Just saying. I think Kyle Busch is Jenna's favorite. Says Jen, I think that's her favorite race car driver. Pretty sure. So there she's already put Kyle's name up there. Kyle Busch, her favorite. Quite sure.
some people drive like they're racing through town. They think that Rubbin's racing. They'll scrape the side of your car and get in your lane and everything else.
Well, can you kind of move them over a little bit? If they're already rubbing against you, you just shift your car over a little bit, right?
Well, it depends on what your car is. If you got a Yugo, you're not pushing anybody out of the way.
I don't know. You might could. It's got a big enough running start. What if they were in an Escort or a Pinto? A Pinto and a Yugo. Who would win that collision?
Pinto.
Or the Squirrel.
Because if they hit the rear end, they're going to get a gas explosion, because they were known for exploding the way those tanks were made on those Pintos. Somebody's dying. It might be the person that hit, because all that gas is going to come back on them. Yeah.
Shaking my head no. I was answering no. NC. No.
North Carolina. North Carolina's another one of them states that kind of flows both ways. A lot of money flowing into it. Democratic. It has elected Republicans and Democrats from major seats. It's gotta watch North Carolina. They take it for granted.
Steve named his car Honey Badger because it don't care. So there's Sassy Jen. Let me see if I've got this right. Okay. All right. Is Kyle Busch your favorite driver or not? I mean, is he your favorite driver, or is like the one you like the best? Which is it? Is he your favorite driver or the one you like the best?
She may just think he's sexy. I don't know. Pit maneuver. Yeah.
But
I had one of those. We were on the interstate. I was just a kid. My uncle was driving. And I guess I wasn't paying attention, but I think that my uncle got into a argument with somebody on the interstate, kind of a road rage thing. And I got shoved completely. We got flipped around. I mean, bad, spun around. It was like something out of a movie. Have you ever been hit like that where you actually spun around?
yes.
Not
Yes.
fun.
It's not fun. It is.
I thought we
not.
were going to die. I
Mhm.
really thought we were going to die. Everybody was screaming. Yeah, I mean, it was me, me and my mom, my uncle. There was at least one or two other people in the car, and they rammed us. Kind of a pit maneuver, absolutely. J turn. Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. I have a question for you. Let me go ahead and put this out there, okay? Just so everybody knows that we support the blue. We like police officers, the whole 9 yards. But oh my gosh, I perfected the J turn when I was 17 in a minivan. Somehow, I know this is the truth. I know this is the truth somehow. I know there is no doubt that that happened. We're talking about a man who fishes with a vehicle.
I
From a
think
minivan to a maxi van.
I think
Oh,
Steve's go-to vehicle is the minivan. I really do.
well, maybe he's practicing up to be a soccer mom. Once Maxine Waters fixes him and straightens him out, he'd make a perfect soccer mom for her.
Soccer Steve. Can you just imagine Steve being your coach? Doesn't matter what sport. And he's picking all the kids up, and you're riding along with Steve as your coach. Hair down, rocking to the music, aggressive driving.
Yeah. Play Maxwell Silver Hammer. I can see it. Actually, it'd be like in Wayne's World where they're all jamming in the car.
Oh, yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah, I bet NC Native would go up there and be his Garth.
The Green Machine.
I love that van, dude. That van was cool. My friends call it the Green Machine. I took out the back bench seats and put in a moon chair and a recliner. It was like a VW microbus. You're a hippie. Oh, I just figured out you're just a hippie. That's all right, though. Yeah, you can be a hippie. I try to be a hippie.
We need to put Steve's card up. There's people in here that haven't seen Steve. We need to throw an ad for him. You can see a picture of him, the Half Pine Forge. Not Half Pine, Half Pine. There he is. That picture, though, look at the expression on his face. Not the one on the where he's coming in. The other one. He's in a serious look right there.
Oh, it's like he's looking off into the distance, scanning for any kind of metal that he might be able to Forge up there, beat up and stuff, and melt down.
Or he's waiting on the FedEx, man.
That could be. That could be. He could be waiting on the FedEx man. I didn't think about that.
Or he's looking to see if any cops are fixing to show up because he smoked the community out. It's like, let me check this out.
Or he might be waiting on the groceries to get there so he can fire up that easy bake.
Oh,
hey, y'all go to have fun, Forge, and give him a follow and a like. Check out his store. He's got some awesome stuff in there.
I do like your sign, though, Steve. We've never commented on that, but your your sign, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The background behind the story of the picture. Yes.
Yes. So, you know, if okay. Also, that logo on that sign was edited in. It doesn't actually have my logo on in real life yet.
It's all cool. You know what? Creativity, man. Yeah. Creativity.
I think I'm gonna order a Southern Fried Podcast flag to hang out there on my porch.
Cool.
An American flag, might as well have it. Yeah. You get the one with mine of your faces on it, keep all the bunny rabbits scared off.
Well, that would be good for it. I mean, I'm a pretty scary looking guy, you know.
Oh, yeah.
People run in fear, like the blob is in town.
Now, wait a minute. I hadn't seen your granddaughter run from you one time.
No, she loves me.
Yeah.
If everybody in the whole world turned against me, my granddaughter would not. That I can say. They all love me, all my grandkids, but we have a special bond. We really do. She's very. Steve McQueen, right? Was in the movie. Was it that Steve McQueen in that movie? That goes back to the 60s. That's true. It's the blob.
There you go.
Well, hey, who was faster, the blob or Joe Biden?
The blob. Joe Biden would have never stood a chance.
Well, the blob knew
down the drain pipe.
The blob knew where it was going. Biden half the time didn't know where he was going. Mr. President, over here, this way, Mr. President. They just grab him this way, Mr. President. That's pretty good chick bait.
Now look, it depends on which fog movie you're talking about. If it was the original, one of the best movies ever, I did not care for the remake worth a flip. But I loved the first one. You haven't seen Michael Moore do much else, though, than the Blob movie. The original Fog movie was great. I'm sorry.
Was there a movie that you went to the movies and saw that scared you?
When I was 5.
Well, what was it? I mean, it don't matter how old you are. Huh? Jaws?
Yeah.
The Mist.
What? The Mist wasn't a remake of The Fog? What? I'm sorry, that's a conversation that's going on over there on Rumble. Oh, there he is. No, The Mist was a Stephen King story. Oh, here comes the. It was so NC native got scared by Michael Jackson's Thriller video played in a dark skating rink. Kickback said pod people are scary, that's why she avoids podcasts.
But yet she's a podcaster, so
Yeah.
makes no sense. The Dark Crystal.
Now, whoa. That's one of puppet shows. I remember the Dark Crystal. It wasn't scary at all. I didn't think. Well, maybe, I guess if you were young.
You're a lot older than Steve, so he would have been a different age.
Yeah.
A lot of kids were scared by Chucky. That scared a lot of kids.
Dude, those sketches were freaky to a 5-year-old. Don't even start with me. Did you know it was also scared by Chud? If you don't know what that means, Chud means it was stood for cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers, and silver bullet. Oh, she quit the podcast. Oh, she's redoing her Spotify.
But you were. You were. That sounds like Chuck. Bushy and sassy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Well,
I don't remember what I'm trying to remember. Actually, because I'm older, my parents didn't let me see it, but a friend did. Probably The Exorcist, honestly. That whole scene with, oh my gosh, man, that's creepy to me.
yeah, you're confusing that with Labyrinth. Which scene?
Her head spinning around and all that crap. I mean, oh, that's creepy.
Projectile vomiting.
Well, that's scary anytime, including when babies do it.
His gig. Still sure. I've watched it once, all the way through. I think it was okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you on this one. Critters scared me a little too when I found out they were contagious.
My mom used to, when I was just a little kid, she used to watch the live soap, Dark Shadows. That was a little scary to me. I would see it on. I didn't watch it, but I would hear, and I'd look up and I'd be like, just creepy. I mean, that was, for me, I was just a kid, little kid.
I've actually seen that movie, NC Native. And when I watched it, I thought it was corny, and that was where I don't remember how it ended now, but I remember watching it. About a wild boar in the Australian outback, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was an Australian movie, yes.
I think it's pretty scary to watch. I think it's pretty scary to watch The View.
That definitely counts as horror. Horror or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. A 1,000-pound wild boar that could tear through trailer parks. That'd be scary.
Takes a lot of things to tore through some trailer parks.
Yeah.
Care
What do
Bears?
you laugh out loud yesing about?
Care
Razorback?
Bears ruined summer camp for you, Chickmate? Care Bears? What the heck?
Apparently ruined it for Janice too.
The View.
Oh, the View. Okay.
The View.
You know, I think the one that scared me the most was probably Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh my gosh. Also, the movie Ticks. The movie messed with me. Probably why I still hate ticks and turn into a 5-year-old girl when I find one of them on me. Uh, 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 now, you would think there was a movie out there called Eight-Legged Freaks. And as much as I hate spiders, you would think I wouldn't be able to watch this thing. But I'm telling you, it was the funniest movie ever. Had little Mexican jumping spiders. These guys were on dirt bikes doing all the jumps, trying to get away from them. And they were chasing after them, the huge spiders. And they had Mexican accents too. They were like, arriba, 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 andale, andale. Oh, it cracked me.
It was called what?
Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh, I thought you meant that the Bidens and Obamas went out to dinner or something. That's what.
For them to be eight-legged freaks, that's something I would have to.
Well, if you count them all up, they're 8 legs. I mean, if you count them all up, you know, if you throw Big Mike in, we got 10. I mean, I'm gonna stop. Celtic Blacksmith's gonna.
Did they release a game with that? I didn't know that. Oh, Eight-Legged Freaks was funny. I laughed till I cried. Arachnophobia ruined basements for me. Yes, I have seen that about the tire that would vibrate and kill people's brains and stuff. Its tires just rolling along, minding its own business, you know, and it kills stuff. Don't ask me how. It just does. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. You know, they had a cartoon about that movie, too. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Oh, we're just going to go through all these old, horrible. My ex had Killer Clowns from Outer Space themed shoes. She treasured them. I thought they were the dumbest things I'd ever seen since Al Gore. Was there anybody ever more aptly named Gore?
I just want to know if you told your ex that while you were still not an ex. Maybe that's why you became an ex. Go ahead. No.
What's he saying? I heard him say something. I heard my name.
He wanted to know if I was giving you a hard time. I said, no.
No. I'm too good looking for him to give a hard time too.
Are you saying when they pulled you over on the road, they just didn't give you the ticket?
Well, they tried to take me to jail last time I got pulled over. Being in possession of a firearm.
You know, when it's kind of going downhill.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying she laughed like Kamala? I believe you. Oh, dude, if she laughed like Kamala and looked like AOC, would you still be able to stand her? Would that be like the perfect thing for you?
Man, what a image.
Oh my gosh. Her laugh sounded like Fran Drescher getting tased. My gosh. Nah.
What an image.
Yes, her laugh was definitely part of the issue. Shh. Tell all of my secrets now.
Oh man. Folks, it's been a fun night. We appreciate you
Yes.
joining in the fun. Oh, thanks to our guest. Appreciate it. Give him a follow if you haven't already done it. Many of you have. Y'all are awesome.
Yes.
Y'all keep us laughing.
Yeah, that's got to be it, dude.
There's a lot of things that's rolling through my mind that I'm not going to say.
Thank you very much. Hey, y'all have a great evening. We thank you for tuning into the show. If y'all get a chance, if you haven't, turn back and watch the interview there with that Mr. Alexander Duncan. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. No, Gilbert Godfrey did not have the worst laugh.
I'm sorry, Steve.
We expect better.
And you're right. You're right. It was gutter. I'm not going to lie. It's just Rob making that sound, laying back there like that. Bad things, man. Bad things.
Don't do it.
I'm not.
You need to get right with the Lord, bro. But he wasn't the most annoying laugh in the world. Hey, God bless y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. We had a great time with it, great guests and everything. So Godfrey and Fran Drescher should have done a duet. Could you imagine them singing Islands in a String?
No.
Yeah, God makes no mistake. Right. All right. Guys, we're glad y'all tuned in for us tonight. And I think we're going to log off and get going here. And y'all have a great weekend. Congratulations on making through the work week. Dave, you got anything before we get going?
No, we'll be seeing you with a lot of programming over the weekend.
Absolutely. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody, hey, remember, like, follow, subscribe. Go ahead, F-Bomb Forge over there on Rumble. Yes.
Kim's Coffee Talk, Killer Carl, Empty Pockets Podcast.
Yes.
All those folks that were in the chat tonight. Thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Y'all are a blessing.
Thank y'all. Good night and a great old big salute. Oh.
Oh, well, it's early in the morning, grab a cup and tune on in. Robert and Dave got that southern charm, let the laughter begin. From the morning funny to Maga Minute, ain't no better way to start your day the southern way, with a little joke and pray. We're just southern folks talking southern things, front porch swinging where the church bells rang. From Mama Said to Hum Day News, we keep it real with down home